So today we got yet another spicy mod showcase, and it's called The Monkeys for Hire in Bloons TD 6, made by Super56. And they have a little introduction written for us, so let's go ahead and read it. Basically, in a tower defense game, you buy a tower and you upgrade that tower. You pay once and you get to keep it basically forever. However, in Bloons, most of the towers are monkeys, so someone's got to pay them, right? And that's why this mod makes it so that it changes it in a way that the monkeys cost money per round as opposed to fixed cost. And that's why I see in this game, I have Attack Zone, Energizer, and Anti-Bloon on round 6 of Chimps mode. And you see on the right side that the tower cost has been reduced dramatically. If you want to know exactly, it's 5% of the cost per round, so essentially you break even at 20 rounds, and if a tower is down on the field longer than 20 rounds, then, well, it's more expensive than usual. And also you might notice on the top left corner that there's a negative icon. That's basically the salary that we have to pay per round. So right now with these 3 towers on the field, we gotta pay, well, more than we currently have. So basically what's gonna happen is if you do go overboard in that amount of money at the end of a round, then it'll sell the tower because you can't pay it off, right? See, like that? And now we're down $9,000 in debt, and, well, we're dead. So obviously, that's not the right way to play this game mode. Basically, you just gotta play, well, conservatively, and we're gonna go ahead and play on Chimps mode on Riverside, this modded map here. And we're gonna go all the way to 140 rounds because apparently this has been balanced in a way that, well, it should be pretty challenging to get to around 140. So that being said, let's go ahead and find the cheapest way to be at round 6. I would say a Dart Monkey to sub. That's the classic Chimp start over here. Plus the fact that the balloons loop around 2 times means I think it does pretty well for the sub here. Also, a tidbit for this run that's important to note is that after run 100, the salary is cut by a quarter. So basically, because of the fact that we make so much less money past round 100, in order to make it balanced, we have to, well, pay the monkeys a lot less wage, and they're gonna have to live with that because, yeah, they don't have a union, they can't go and strike. They're forced to work for us here, even for whatever salary they're given. That being said, I think we can probably go ahead and start getting some upgrades. We've been getting away with a pretty cheap salary of $28 per round. Maybe I'll just do, yeah, I know it's probably too expensive, but how about a pat early game, just so I get the levels faster. I know it's not going to do much damage because it has such a tiny range. Oh, in fact, it doesn't work. I think instead we'll continue our cheap ways. We'll just go for a sniper on strong. That should do the job for like at least the next 2 rounds, and then I'll go twin guns next. Now I'm thinking for the mid game here, we could probably get away with an alp buff submarine. I think I'll just go for airburst now, because round 21's kind of sketchy. Probably we'll get pat at some point. So we're getting a little bit late here. Now again, the way we want to play this out is just to find the cheapest defense at all points of the game. So even if the strategy is, say, very good mid game, like for example elite sniper, it may not be the most viable because it's pretty expensive to get up to keep the upkeep for those mid game rounds. Plus, I guess it does fall off later on in the game. But yeah, I think I'll just go for the Alchemist now since I need for round 26. We probably don't need AMD, although I guess I think I should just spend the money. There we go. Now, according to the mod user, they say that it's recommended to save up to around 30,000 cash at the end of round 100 Chimps mode. So we're gonna make sure we can, well, budget correctly. We're currently sitting at 7k for round 35, which I would say is pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and get Alp Buff now, or do you think I can get away with it? The thing is, I am playing on Challenge Editor, so I can technically restart rounds, which means stakes are a little bit low, which means I can, like, try to beat a round without actually having to spend it. And if I end up dying, like, for example, this round, I'll go ahead and spend the money. Those cost me an extra, like, $60 with that one round of buying the Berserker early, but, you know, it's not gonna make a big difference, at least I would hope. Anyways, when do we get pat? This round? No, we can beat him up still. Yeah, and I know that the leveling matters for pat, but I guess the longer you can get away with not spending $40, $43 a round, then so be it. Because like if I draw pat when I said I would on round 14, I would have had to pay an extra $1,000. In fact, before pat, I might just go for the AP darts, just because this is an even better lasting combo. That should get us an even longer way. Round 49, though, I think it's probably about time to drop him. And it's round 55, and we're already over the 30k that's recommended before the end of Chimps mode, so that's cool. we're looking to be in a pretty good spot. But I think it's probably about time to stop being greedy and get some actual towers down. Like, for example, I do need camo, so I might as well just go for, I guess I'll do a decamo sub. Since there's so much water on this map, no reason not to use it. But yeah, another cool quirk about this mod is that they actually made it so that discount villages apply to tier 4 towers. Not sure why exactly, but I guess just to spice things up a little bit. Because some of the towers are really expensive, so I guess in order to make their salaries a little bit more reasonable, they allow us to, you know, make them a little bit cheaper. So that being said, we should probably use that to our advantage, right? In the meantime, let me just go for another AP dart, because we are going to die. I'm not sure what I want to do for round 63 yet, but I'm not sure if Alk and 2 of these guys is enough. But of course, we'll see. But yeah, as I was saying about the discount tier 4s, I bet we could probably use that to our advantage and maybe splurge a little bit on a very nice tier 4. Like maybe, I don't know, a Dark Champion, for example. Not that's the greatest option, but it would be fun to play around with. Let me just use Padability for wave 1 here, just to see how we're looking. Let me see what I want to do here. Do I just want to go for, like, 1 cluster? Again, I don't want to waste too much money on stuff that isn't good late game. But I guess a cluster is fairly cheap. You can see it's partial salary over here, 129.7. It's a sellback. It's kind of cursed seeing balloons with money costs in the decimals, but it do be that way. But yeah, again, this is a sell cost, so the actual salary is somewhere like 170 around. Now, we can't keep saving up forever, so I kind of want to go for a sub commander at some point, but right now the goal, I guess, is just to delay it as long as possible, including trying to see if we can beat round 76 without the sub commander, but it looks like a Rio farm is a bit too strong. How about with jungle drums? Does that make it any better? Looks like it does. Wow, 15% attack speed makes a pretty big difference. So this should probably get us to at least 78. And honestly, I bet I could even beat 78 because it's not a regrow, so all that matters is doing enough bomb power, and just using pat ability for the surround waves is enough. Sub pat combo OP. By the way, if you're wondering why I didn't use Geraldo, it's because apparently this mod isn't balanced around Geraldo's shop yet, so I just wanted to make it, well, a bit more fair that way to not use Geraldo and his brokenness. That being said, 78 is clear. Alright, we gotta chill in the grid at some point. Round 81, still no sub commander. I'll use pat ability to see if we can get through this round. If not, though, I think I might just bite the bullet this round. Even though it probably is beatable with cheaper things other than sub commander, but again, we shouldn't keep delaying it for no reason. So here we go with sub commander time. Reminder that we don't have knowledge, so we can only build subs in range of the commander here to get buff. But that's fine. That's still a lot of water space. Probably enough for like a good, solid 10 plus sub army. And I'm cool with that. Now, on that note, do you guys think a Perm Brew was worth it? Because if I'm trying to go 140 rounds here, then it might be a good investment. Granted, this is not a good spot for it, because I'm not going to get a whole lot of coverage. And speaking of, looks like we need more lead popping. Because we don't have Perm Brew, permanent lead popping here. So the P-Brew is a 3k salary, which is basically double of what we currently have, which is the reason why I'm thinking, let's go for the cheaper option. We'll do the MIB for only 700 instead. And this should allow us to get past 90 and probably a little bit further. I think looking at 91 here, we can get working on our third 204 sub. And I'll probably get more blue next, somewhere up here. C94 here, looking pretty spooky. I think I'll go ahead and get it now. 013 and strong. And that should be enough to beat 94, right? Slow down the mobs enough so that we can pop one ZMG at a time. And it looks like sub commander can take it from here. Very nice. But yeah, we're sitting on a good amount of money right now. 65k and counting, so I probably shouldn't be too worried about spending just a little bit. Right now my salary is a little bit over 4k per round. So let's see. Let's use the ability, pat ability right now. Hopefully, we can take down DTs and the fortified mobs. They're no joke, by the way. Fortified mobs do have a chance to wreck us here. Especially since we don't have good Saram defense. Speaking of which, I probably should get some, huh? Like, maybe a downdraft wouldn't be a bad idea. Because I could get Perm Brew then, and then I could Chinook it so that I can buff the other towers. That's a pretty high IQ move, isn't it? I would say so. It would be cool if I could beat 98 with this defense, but I don't think so. So let's add a 5th sub here. And I'm hoping that'll be enough for now. So here we go, Patability again. This should allow us to be a good chunk of fortified balloons here. And hopefully, again, we're spacing it enough so that we're not getting destroyed by a bunch of balloons at once. And looks like I have enough for a third Patability, so let's go ahead and use it, and hopefully we can take it from here. There's no fortifieds anymore, so that's good. And 98 is complete with an under 5k salary. Not too shabby. But remember, again, the salary is basically 1/20th the cost of what you'd normally spend. So essentially, we spent a bit under 100k on our total defense, which is good. But if you've seen some crazy BT6 players, they can get really low. Looks like 5k is enough to beat this round, so I might need to add a little bit more. I'll do a 6-2-0-4. Yeah, as I was saying, some people can get as low as 30k, 20k in Chimps mode, in which case the salary would be really low. But of course, since there's 140 rounds here, I couldn't just simply do that. And hopefully this time we can beat the Fortified DT. Nice. I'm assuming round 100 is going to be fine too, because AP darts do so much damage combined. But yeah, if you didn't know, you make about 170k in Chimps mode normally, so essentially, we would have about 70k left over if we were playing it with normally priced towers, which is actually pretty similar to the amount that we have remaining. So that seems about right. And now, you see, you're entering Monkeys Fire Freeplay mode. In this mode, tower salaries are severely reduced. Good luck. And yeah, now it's probably a good time to go for the Perma Brew. And now that it's so cheap, we didn't have to spend 3k around any of it. 810, I would say, is a pretty good deal. And once again, you can also see how little money we're making from the Bloons Freeplay mode, so that's why it's necessary to reduce their salary, because we just don't have enough cash flow. How like it works in the real world. If your business ain't making enough money, then how can you afford to pay your employees? So yeah, let's go for number 7, AP darts. These ones don't have Perma on it, so I think I should upgrade this to Chinook very soon. And by soon, I mean now, because these UMGs are looking very scary. If I recall, round 1 of 3 is indeed spooky. So let's move Paper up here. And another Patability, just for the last few UMGs here. And very nice, 1 of 3 is done. Now, let's continue building subs over in this pond here. Now, I didn't even think about this before going for the Sub-Commander Army, but I realized that since we're spamming AP darts, we're also getting a discount village from it, because this mod affects tier 4s. So that's another bonus too. Helping us keep our salary fairly low. 2.5k for overtime here. Now, hopefully Freeplay provides us with a little bit more money, because as you see, we're kind of falling... We're actually starting to go down in money now. We're a bit above 60k right now, but if these rounds keep making less than 2.6k, then, well, it's just going to keep going down and down and down until we start needing to sell towers, and that's not good. So hopefully, this sub-army can last for now. And hopefully, I will have enough money later on to still be able to experiment with other kinds of things. Because as cool as it would be to beat this easily, I think it'd be a little more exciting if we did something other than just subs or damage. But of course, that's money dependent, so we'll see. Round 117 update. As you can see, we have spent absolutely nothing, and we're still going down in money. 56k now, and it's going to keep going down from here. And I think for this round, I need to drop another tower, because I've tried it a few times already, and I keep failing, because there's so many DTs here, and not enough damage. Luckily, I think the sub made a difference there. But again, with the extra addition, it's going to keep going lower and lower. 54k now. We shall use the ability for DTs here, as to not die. Nice. Now, I do hope we have enough to beat round 119 here. There's 3 bads. We got the first 2 of them, but this last one is getting very far. Hopefully we can clutch up. Just 2 ZMGs left, come on. And nice, 119 is complete. It is good to know that there are 20 rounds left, and if you just do the math, even if we have no money, we would still be able to finish with more than $0. But obviously this defense won't survive another 20 rounds, so yeah, this is definitely quite the challenging mod. Alright, round 128 update. We got about 48k and 3k salary still, so I bet I could afford to splurge a little bit. We're just gonna go ahead and get a main Moab, stun the deities here, and hopefully that will allow us to beat 128 with the help of that ability, but it doesn't seem like that's enough even. I'm honestly kind of wondering at this point if Crit Mob is just worth splurging for, because here's the thing. It only puts us up to 3.3k, and if you, again, you do the math, we will have enough to afford everything in time. And you can kind of already see the difference with the Chrome Moab. Adding that much extra damage means those DTs get annihilated by the sub army. And yeah, 128 is now easy. Okay, and we are comfortably sitting cash right now, so I think I can afford to splurge right about now. Before I start splurging, though, we're gonna triple discount just to make things even cheaper, because it's probably worth it. And we'll beat the round first, so we don't have to spend the extra money on whatever I'm splurging on. So here we go, 132. I'm thinking a Dark Champion, why not? If I can get it over here, triple discount. How much does it cost, actually, before I actually commit? Oh, that's actually really cheap. 600 bucks. Sign me the F up. Now that, like, if you think about it, the 1K cost of it is basically, like, a quarter of all the cash we spent, so it's not, like, that much of a deal. But still, I think it's... just thinking about, like, a $1,000 tier for Super Monkey just sounds pretty nutty. Okay, and now that we only have a few rounds left, I bet we could afford to splurge on something even better than a Dark Champion. And you guys know what I'm thinking? Well, you guys probably get the hint by what I'm dropping. So, Paragons, they are cheaper too, and by a lot. In fact, this mod makes so that you can actually discount them. So take a look at the price of it once we get all tier 5 Dark Monkeys. And yeah, that is one cheap Paragon, 3.5k. I mean, just look at how much money we have. I think there's no consequence to buying it now, right? Screw it, let's do it. Now our total salary is 8k. It's degree 1, but who cares? Degree 1 is way better than any other tower we have here, right? Well, I would say so. I'm hoping that's probably enough to, well, beat 140 here. And here we go. How is our damage to the F-Bad? Well, I hope it's pretty good. The Paragon can't attack all the time, though, so I'm really banking on that, that sub-army doing work. Now, I realize I probably should have Dark Shifted, but that's fine. We still beat it anyways, and we should have the FZMGs too, right? Yes, indeed. It's kind of crazy that even with the Degree 1 Paragon, it wasn't as trivial of a round than I thought it was. I guess that just goes to show how OP Freeplay is, and there it is. We finished the game with about 30k extra to work with, so at that current pace, we would have ran out of money in the next 2 rounds, but of course, I probably could have beaten it without Paragon, or at least done a cheaper alternative. But either way, that's the mod. A very fun one at that, and I think it would be even more fun with mod combination, so let me know if you have any ideas, and that's it. I'll see you next time.